Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tom Spark and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be re-updating our Cyberghost VPN review and updating it for 2021 to see if there's been any significant changes in if you should use this service in 2021. We're going to be ranking it and putting it in the VPN tier list, which you can find at vpntierlist.com, which has pretty much put every VPN into existence and rated them by different tiers. I recommend all my viewers to use a tier 1 VPN because they represent the best product that you can possibly buy, with good scores in affordability, speeds, things like the application and how it functions, as well as customer support, stream compatibility if it works with Netflix and other services like that, as well as how good of a reputation it has as a company. So guys, today we're going to be putting Cyberghost in that tier list, and stick around to find out which tier it gets put into. So guys, this is Cyberghost's main website, and right away, I don't like this timer. Cyberghost, like some other VPNs out there, like NordVPN and a couple other ones, do like to use these fake count-on clock timers to incentivize you to purchase the product quickly. They make it seem like there's some exclusivity to the deal that you're getting, which increases the conversion rate of people buying it. It's not my favorite marketing tactic, and I find it very misleading because this sale goes on pretty much every day, and chances are by the time you're watching this review, you could go on Cyberghost VPN's website and see this exact same count-on clock timer. Right now, it's even bugged and the time isn't even ticking down. Just goes to show you that it's not really working that great. The way it works with Cyberghost is that they really want you to buy a long-term package, and that's what this deal is. $225 a month is not really what you're paying. You're paying upfront, and that equates to $225 a month over a period of 3 years and 3 months. So essentially you're getting a VPN for $88 for 3 years. I'm not really sure if it increases the cost after those 3 years. It doesn't say it right here, but it's possible it could. One interesting thing about Cyberghost that I do like, however, is that it does have a 45-day money-back guarantee, which is pretty generous, although the 1-month plan only has a 14-day money-back guarantee, which is something you have to keep in mind. A little bit different than most other VPNs. I guess the idea is that if you purchase a longer term, you have a little bit more time to try it out, which makes sense because you couldn't really get a 45 money day back guarantee on a 1-month plan, which is only 30 days, right? So overall, we have 2 years for $84, 1 year for $48, 1 month for $13, and 3 years for $88. Overall, this pricing system isn't bad. I think the 3-year plan is a little bit weird how it's about the same price as the 2-year. I think the 2-year could be more around $60. The 1 year, $48 actually probably the best plan they're offering here. I don't really recommend signing up for as long a period as 3 years. That's just simply too long to know unless you really like the VPN and you tried it first for maybe a year or even just, a couple months. Unfortunately, the 1-month plan at $13 is as expensive as it gets, so they're really trying to push you into a long-term subscription to get an affordable package, which again is not one of my favorite marketing techniques. Most people who buy Cyberghost probably don't get a month-to-month because $13 times 12 would be $140+, which is too expensive. So most people will probably be suckered into this plan, especially since the website makes it seem like there's some exclusive sale going on. Not only that, but they have this best value, save 83%, and they're trying to make it seem like you might even just pay it for $2.25 a month, when in fact it's $88 billed at once. Another interesting thing about Cyberghost is that it has kind of like a privacy suite, which you can add on as an add-on, which includes antivirus, some kind of privacy guard, and the security updater. If we click here to learn about these new features, it looks like it's kind of like malware protection. It's some kind of like suite almost of products. Antivirus, yep. So this one is interesting because I guess it provides some kind of template to remove some kind of privacy invasive features of Windows. Security updater makes to scan your device and spot apps that could be out of date. So kind of interesting. I haven't really seen that with too many other VPNs. Cyberghost also does provide dedicated IPs, which is a bit unique. Not that many other VPNs do that. One of the only ones I could think of offhand is TorGuard. So if we click Get Plan here, This is kind of what the pricing page looks like. You can pay with PayPal, credit card, or Bitcoin. And as you can see, there are these add-on prices, which do definitely start adding up the price. So you can see dedicated IP. It even has a password manager too, as well as this security suite for Windows. So Cyberghost is definitely trying to upsell a lot of products here, which is fine since it does give you options and none of these are mandatory. I don't really have a problem with that. Just keep in mind, it's going to start raising the price a bit overall. I think it would be cool if Cyberghost has some kind of package here in terms of pricing that gave you a bulk offering from Cyberghost to give you everything included instead of adding it on like $6 a month. So maybe say something like $80 a year, you could get Cyberghost and all the other products included. That would actually be a decent value, I think. Although some of these things, like, I don't really know how worthwhile they are. So yeah. So guys, this is what Cyberghost VPN's application looks like, and it actually feels pretty nice and involved. There's a decent amount of features here. We have something like launch rules, which will basically let you kind of configure how the application launches, which is nice. You can also launch different applications when Cyberghost launches. You even have stuff like Wi-Fi protection if you're like concerning using this VPN in like mobile Wi-Fi hotspots. You even have stuff like kind of like split tunneling, but for websites, which is interesting. But that can only use OpenVPN, so keep that in mind. And again, you can launch specific apps with Cyberghost at the same time, which is kind of a cool convenience feature. You also have stuff like DNS leaks, kill switches, ad blocking, which is nice. And if we go into the settings, you can also see like some stuff like the ability to choose WireGuard and stuff like that, as well as some a little bit of port customization, but not really too much, giving you options to choose specific ports. But if we look at the main kind of meat of the application, it's going to be kind of looking like this, which isn't bad. We can look at the servers here, which provides you some options for streaming and more options here if you click here. The nice thing is you can see distance, load, and you can also favorite different servers and even see different servers for different things. I'm not always sure, how useful this kind of thing is. I don't know if it's really that useful. Most servers should be fine for most things. We'll have to test the streaming specific things to see if it will work with non-streaming servers or only with those streaming servers. So that's something I'm going to be looking at. Let's go ahead and connect and see how fast it connects. It does have a nice look to this UI. I like how it's kind of simple and kind of different looking, but also kind of bold with some of these highlights. It looks really nice, I think. So as you can see here, we are connected and it was a fast connection time. For some reason, it defaulted me to IKV2, which I kind of wish it would have defaulted me to WireGuard. So we're going to pick that and go back here. And I don't really like how it automatically resets that corner. I kind of wished it resetted back to just kind of where I had it. Here we are doing a speed test with Cyberghost Live. You can know it's a real speed test because it is connected there and we're showing it live. Unlike other channels who could use data charts or stuff like that and manipulate them, this is a real speed test and we'll be doing a torrent test as well. Now, this is pretty good speeds. This is exactly what I was looking for speed test, modern VPN with a lot of servers with WireGuard support. This is pretty much the speeds that I'm looking for. This is what I got in my last review of torrenting VPN, so things are looking very good here for Cyberghost. And we'll have to see what that upload, and the upload looks good too. So we'll have to see how torrenting does. Honestly, for these kind of speeds, I would be looking for 70 to 90 megabytes a second download with a torrent file. I'll be maybe testing it out with a regular server and then a torrent server with selected Cyberghost and see if it really makes a difference which one you end up using. Alright guys, so we've loaded in a Ubuntu torrent file, and we're going to see what kind of capabilities Cyberghost has for torrenting. We got a very impressive speed test. Now let's see what kind of performance we can get here. Now right now it's looking pretty good. Not quite as fast as torrenting I did the other day, which got up to like 70 to 90. And we're looking kind of in that 40 to 60 range here, right around stabilizing around 50, which is pretty good. Honestly, I was expecting a little bit more here in terms of this torrent performance. I'm going to go ahead and pause and see if we pick a torrent specific server, if it will increase the speeds at all. Torrent on, and none of them are really that close to me. Actually, I'm going to pick this one. This seems like it's the closest to me for torrenting. We are now connected to the Costa Rica server, and let's see if speeds get any better. So they were around 50 here, and we're looking to surpass that. But I might expect speeds to be slower since it's the server that's farther away. And as of right now, that does look to be the case. So honestly, I don't know. Well, actually 53, 51. To be honest, it seems pretty similar. I don't really know if there's that much advantage in picking a torrent server. As you can see here, the speeds are a little bit slower or just kind of more about the same. So overall, not the best speeds in the world for downloading. Speed test was good, but overall I was expecting a little bit more here. Overall, not bad, but I don't know if it's top tier speeds for torrent downloads. All right, guys, so we're going to be testing out how well Cyberghost works with streaming. What we're going to do is look at a specific show in the United States and see if it works to unblock the United States version of Netflix. If you guys are wondering, which content is on which region of Netflix, you could check out my website, streamregions.com, where you can actually look up any movie or TV show like The Twilight Zone, see exactly which region it's in, like this, click here, and then see how it says United States. So we're going to be checking if it's in the United States, if Cyberghost works to unblock it. First, we're going to be trying a regular server, and then we're going to be trying a streaming server, see if there's any difference. All right, so go to main. So we're going to go to search, click on that, Twilight Zone, and let's see if it pops up. It didn't look, oh, there it is, Twilight Zone. So it seems even without picking the streaming area, it still works to unblock it. So really nice. So honestly, this is a little bit laggy loading these websites for some reason. I'm not really sure why. It seems like there's a little bit of latency or something going on, but I kind of wish it was a little bit faster loading some of these streaming websites. So we are now connected to one that should be working well with Hulu, and let's try to load that website up. Still kind of loading, kind of slow. Kind of slow. Come on, Cyberghost. All right, well, it looks like it's sort of loading, so let's try just watching this, see if it works. Oh my god. I kind of vaguely remember this being a problem with Cyberghost in a couple of my reviews. All right, we're slowly loading in. Looks like there's some kind of error here. So we close down the browser, we're opening it up again. All right, I just took a shit and came back to see if it's working now. Still loading pretty slow. It does seem to work. It just fucking takes forever. All right, now we're trying Prime Video to see if that works with Cyberghost. Okay, it works. Also took forever, but it does work. All right, so it looks like Cyberghost is having problems with BBC iPlayer. As you can see here, it only works in the UK. We are connected to a UK server, so it's unfortunate it couldn't get that working. So guys, Cyberghost, what about its reputation? In terms of logs, it does collect some anonymous logs, and you can kind of opt out when launching the application. Some of the logs that it collects are a little bit concerning. You could see stuff like mobile device, desktop, general properties, metadata, OS version, preferred language, all sorts of stuff there. It's a little concerning. I'm not sure why they're collecting that stuff or even having the option to collect that stuff. So I think that's concerning. Not only that, but Cyberghost and the company behind it also have a complicated history. But you can find plenty of information on it. And if you Google, an article like this on CNET, you can see people talking about their company history, how it was kind of owned by some kind of advertising company that a lot of people were misusing it for malware and adware and stuff like that. So you could do some research into that, but the basic end story is that it's kind of concerning. Not only that, but Cyberghost as a company is also a huge company. Cape is a company that owns it. And they have been scooping up VPNs like private internet access, creating sort of like a VPN monopoly, which I'm not really a fan of. Not only that, Cape also bought a VPN review site, or the company behind it called Websilanese, basically owns a website called VPN Mentor. And why a website or a company would buy a VPN review site is beyond me, besides the fact that they could be influencing the website or buying rankings or something like that. I'm not really sure what the end goal here is to really do. Honestly, guys, a couple months ago when Cape did buy VPN Mentor, a couple weeks went by and nothing really happened, nothing really changed on the website. So I was like, well, we'll have to see in the future what happens with this website, why they bought this website. I think the folks at NordVPN were kind of concerned about this because VPN Mentor is one of the biggest affiliates for NordVPN, and VPN Mentor for the longest time has had pop-ups shilling out for NordVPN, getting people to buy it, making tons and tons of money with NordVPN as an affiliate. You could see it here, ranked #1 on their website last year. As you can see here, ranked #1. And now, a couple months later, after Cape bought it, and now look what's happened. NordVPN is nowhere to be seen. And in fact, Cyberghost is now one of the top rated VPNs. It's pretty much the number 2 recommended VPN, whereas before it was number 3. So it is slowly but steadily climbing its way up this website. And if we look at it right here, let's see if there's any disclaimer that it's owned by this website. Nope. So they make no disclaimer that Web Celanese or this company got purchased by the company they're recommending. So there's no disclaimer here as far as what I could see. So that's definitely a little bit shady and misleading, I think. But yeah, I guess the only loser here is people wanting honest VPN reviews, which you shouldn't get from this website. As you can see, NordVPN has also gotten the axe, which is pretty funny. Because man, this website really loved NordVPN, made tons of money with it. So there you go. This is a good example of what happens when VPN companies buy these websites. Not only that, but as you can see now, VPN Mentor does now have a pop-up for Cyberghost when in fact it used to be NordVPN. I looked in the review and couldn't really find any disclaimers, but I did manage to find one up here, which is kind of hidden. If you do click on it, it does disclose that this company is owned by Cyberghost or Cape Technologies. So there is a disclaimer way at the top, a little bit hidden, I think, not really in the text of the content. And if you look at the best VPNs, of course, it's up here as well. So they do have a disclaimer. It could be a little bit more clear cut, something like this, to be honest. So take that as you will. So guys, one other thing I did want to mention is that application analysis, and Cyberghost does fairly well here. A couple things like split tunneling and obfuscation are a little bit mixed here, and I just kind of put here. You can technically split tunnel with websites, but not with applications. And there is some obfuscation or VPN bypassing with a random port customizer thing, but there isn't really that much obfuscation techniques offered for, censorship and those kind of things, shadow socks and those kind of proxies. We didn't see any port or DNS customization with the app or any script support. However, it does pretty well in usability, having server favoriting, configuration while live use, as well as lots of statistics available to see which servers have which loads and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out if they had a SOCKS 5 proxy or if they had any Linux GUI support. They do have website extensions and Amazon Fire Stick support though, which is good. Unfortunately, they do have 3 Android app trackers, 10 permissions, and 2 website trackers, and some VPNs out there, and lower website trackers as well. So overall, a decent job for the application, but not the best. In terms of support, we do see a pretty good offering here with live chat options and plenty of support pages to help you figure things out, so I don't really have any complaints with that. Rounding things out though, we can finish this review. Overall, I think Cyberghost gets a tier 2 offering at 3.29 out of 5. Overall, it's not bad. However, there were some things that did bother me about it, and I think there is a lot of room for improvement that Cyberghost might not ever really implement. That's because they kind of are a huge company, and huge companies often do stupid things, like have fake countdown clock timers, have pushed towards 3-year models to try to get more customer retention rates and stuff like that. Not only that, but they're also buying tons of review sites, and there's some conflict of interest there, I think. The company history is a little bit confusing and shady in some ways, and they've also kind of started to form monopolies with private internet access, ZenVPN, ZenMate VPN, and some of these other things, which I'm not a huge fan of. I don't think acquisitions are necessarily a good thing for VPNs unless it's like a really strategic, well-received partnership. Like if something like TorGuard melded with WeVPN to create a single unified VPN, that would be cool. But something like this where they're just kind of scooping up VPNs to kind of cut out some of the competition, I don't know how good that is for the industry itself. Streaming worked well. It did unblock most things. However, most of the streaming services loaded very slowly and didn't seem that usable. Maybe if you use a smart DNS feature, you could get better success here. Unfortunately, the pricing model, as well as the problems with the timers and stuff like that, it's too expensive month to month, and you'll have to subscribe long term to get a good deal. So that's why I didn't give it very many points. Speeds are pretty impressive for the speed test, but torrenting was kind of a letdown, so that's why I didn't get 5 out of 5 there. Overall, guys, Cyberghost is a decent product. I do think, though, it does need a lot of improvements, which, like I said, I don't know if the company is willing to really do to adjust their product and overall kind of way the company has been going lately. It's not the worst VPN in the world, but I definitely think there are better options out there for people who want a more affordable VPN. that has, you know, perhaps just a bit more speeds, a more trustworthy or less complicated history and reputation, as well as overall better streaming features and more fluidity to that speeds that you can expect for some of my tier 1 VPN providers that are also all pretty much way cheaper. Anyways, guys, thanks for checking out this review on Cyberghost. I hope you liked it, and leave a comment down below if you liked it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video very soon.